Welcome back, friends. It's the Freelance Experience podcast, the podcast where I'm pulling back the curtain on how to build a thriving freelance writing business. This is episode 7, standing out in a crowded market, become the go-to writer that editors love. I'm Erica, and today we're diving into this question that every writer faces. How do you stand out in a crowded market? It's no secret that the world of freelance writing is competitive. But here's the thing, you don't need to be the loudest voice or definitely not the most experienced writer. You just need to position yourself as the go-to person that editors want to work with, or that businesses or organizations look to when it comes to a specific service or topic. And I'm going to show you exactly how to become that person. Standing out really does matter. Freelance writing is just like every other market. There are plenty of options, but editors aren't looking for just another writer or just some random person, that could do the same things that AI could do. They're looking for someone who's reliable, professional, who's brings something unique to the table. You are not just one more person, one more wheel in the cog. Like, you're going to bring something to the team, something to the story, something to the table that actually matters and that you actually truly care about. This isn't just another story. This isn't just another job. They want to know that you're in it. So standing out doesn't mean reinventing the wheel, but it does mean figuring out what makes you different, your ideas different, and showcasing that. So this could be your expertise, your voice, could be your pitch style, or even the way that you're handling feedback or presenting ideas. Those small things can really make a difference and stand out. So nailing your niche is step 1. We've already talked about that earlier in the podcast, but this is going to be really helpful to standing out. Editors are drawn to writers who know their lane and own it. The same goes for a business or a nonprofit when they're looking to hire someone for a specific task. If it comes down, if they're looking for someone to do like Facebook advertising, for example, like that's not typically what you may think of with freelance writing, but it is a freelancing service. They are going to hire the person who specifically focuses on Facebook ads as the main portion of their business over someone who does Facebook ads as like one of 10 different services. They're going to go with the guy who this is his thing. This is his one thing. And so there's really a lot of power in being able to say, this is what I do, or this is what I write about. Ask yourself questions like, what topics do I know inside and out? What am I passionate about writing? What industries or publications or organizations or businesses align with my interests and my skills? I have found that writing about things that I'm actually passionate about and working with organizations and businesses that actually I align with their purpose and their vision and I support them, not only is it easier to get excited in your pitch and your proposal, but like it's actually way more fun to do the work because you care about the subject matter. Okay. So, I've carved out a writing niche in some specific topics like sobriety for women. And that focus has made me a go-to writer for people sometimes looking for stories in this area. I've become a voice in this arena, and I'm known for that. Remember, a niche does not have to be super narrow, like women's sobriety, kind of narrow, right? But it does need to be clear enough to tell editors, I'm the right person for this job. I have the experience or the knowledge or just the track record to be writing about this or doing this particular job. Step 2 is you need to develop a signature style. Now, that sounds fancy. It does not have to be fancy, so stick with me. Once you do have your niche, the next step is to hone your voice and your style. So this is going to make you more memorable. It's kind of like your author voice or your personality coming out in the way that you write or do your work. Your voice is the thing that keeps readers engaged and makes editors want to work with you again. And that voice can be expressed in the way that you write, but it can also be expressed in the way that you go about a story in terms of what kind of sources you put in there, what kind of interviews you get, what kind of quotes you're putting in, how you structure things. I don't want you to overthink this, but just know you do not want to be boring. You do not want to sound, again, like AI is writing this. So ask yourself, is your tone conversational, authoritative, or humorous? Do you excel at storytelling, breaking down complex ideas, or offering fresh perspectives? How can you inject more personality into the work that you do? Basically, is what I'm saying. Now, you don't want to go overkill with this because we got to stay professional, but don't be afraid to write in the way that expresses who you are, your personality, and your passions. Your style is kind of like your brand. It's what matters to readers, and editors want that from you. They come to expect it from you. There's a reason they're coming back to you. So lean into what makes your writing uniquely yours. Step 3, be easy to work with. Oh, I love this one because it's like the easiest one that you can, like, there's no reason not to be easy to work with, okay? The insider tip here is being easy to work with is even more important sometimes than actually being a talented writer or even having the very best idea. Because editors want to work with writers who meet their deadlines, who can take feedback, and who can communicate clearly and professionally. They do not have time to be nitpicking with you, to be running late, to work with people that are way too taking things too personally, not open to edits and feedback, and who aren't getting it. So listen, be attentive, and turn things in on time. Do what it is that they want, and be open to their edits, because your writing is not as precious as you think it is. And unless they're totally rewriting your story and saying something that you're not actually saying, like, be open to their edits, okay? Your reliability in this way is really a superpower. There are so many people, it's hard to believe, but there's so many people that simply just don't show up on time, that don't meet their deadlines, that don't take feedback well. And I've had editors come back to me for assignments simply because they know I'll make their lives easier, and that reputation can take you really far. Great example, I got an email today from my editor at the Wall Street Journal that I worked with before, and she said, "Your last story worked out really well. Do you have any more ideas?" Talk about, like, dream of dreams. I was so stoked to get that email because I'm like, I didn't even pitch anything, and she's asking me for an idea. So cool, because my writing and the way that I worked with her made her life easier. Step 4, build a strong portfolio. So this is kind of a portfolio I think is important to have on hand, especially when you're pitching those freelance content writing clients, not so much the magazines or the newspaper editors. And so I would recommend jumping on Canva if you don't have a portfolio and just putting together something really simple. Basic information, some of the things you've done, brands you've worked with, whatever it may be, and the services that you offer. Just something really simple that you're able to share with people. Now, you wouldn't share this portfolio with a magazine or a newspaper editor. In that case, if you want to showcase some of your past work, you might send them past bylines or something else that makes sense for the topic that you're wanting to write about. If you're sending in a proposal, for example, to a nonprofit or a business, a portfolio would be appropriate. And in that portfolio, you want to showcase your best work, even if it's just from a personal blog, right? Because that matters too. You want to focus on things that you've done or pieces that you've written that reflect your niche and your style, if you can, and just include a brief professional bio that highlights your expertise. Don't worry if you're just starting out or you don't have a lot of experience. You just need 2 or 3 strong things to put in that portfolio. And if you feel like you don't have anything, I promise you probably do. We need to think deeper about other experiences that you've had, even if it is like a volunteer position, it's something that you did a while back, something that you do in your free time that maybe you even just consider a hobby. I promise we can brainstorm some stuff to put in that portfolio. Nobody's is going to be empty. Step 5 is consistently pitching unique ideas. Obviously, we talked about this in the last episode, but this last idea to standing out is just doing the thing and making sure your ideas aren't boring. As we know, editors are always looking for fresh takes. Emphasis on fresh, guys. Can't be something like old and smelly. Nothing gets their attention faster than a unique, well-crafted pitch. And as a reminder, This is something that we do in Bragworthy Bylines. If you really want to get into this and do it well, it would be well worth your time and investment to take Bragworthy Bylines with me and learn how to do this in a way that makes it so editors cannot look away. So this might mean, in terms of consistently pitching ideas, it means that you need to stay up to date on trends happening in your niche or whatever it is you want to write about. You need to know what's going on in that field. So whether it means setting up a Google alert or subscribing to a newsletter or just sort of having a weekly check-in, when you know what's going on, that better positions you to pitch a fresh, unique idea. You want to offer perspectives that others might not think about. So you need to give yourself a moment to sit there and brainstorm and think outside the box. Like, don't try to do it in like the spare 5 minutes that you have. I mean, you can, but what I would really suggest is like take a concerted 20 minutes if you want to write on a particular topic and just open a Google Doc or write on a writing pad. Like, what are all the different things that I can think of when it comes to this topic? And like, what are some crazy outside the box sort of angles that could possibly be pitched? Even if it sounds completely nuts, write it down anyways. This helps your brain open up to other possibilities. It really is like a brain exercise where you're kind of stretching your muscles. And once you stretch them, you can go further and find the good stuff. Truly, that is how it works. And then, of course, you want your pitches to be concise, 3 to 4 paragraphs. You want them to be obviously professional, but with your sort of personality driven voice. And you want it to be irresistible. And when I say irresistible, I don't want you to skip over that word. I want you to think of this pitch as an editor looks at it and says, I would be an idiot not to go with this. So again, you are selling your idea. And as a reminder, editors want good ideas. So they are your friend. They want the pitch to be good. You want the pitch to be good. Make it irresistible, and it will be. Your pitch is the first impression a new editor has of you, so really make it count. So let's recap today. To stand out in a crowded market, you need to, number 1, nail your niche. Number 2, develop a signature style. That's sort of like your voice. Number 3, be easy to work with. Ding, ding, ding. Number 4, build a strong portfolio or body of work. Number 5, consistently pitch unique ideas. When you combine these 3 elements, you don't just become a freelance writer, you become the writer that editors think of first, just like I became the writer that the Wall Street Journal editor is emailing when she needs a new idea. Yay! So in the next episode, we're going to explore how to price your work so you're not just landing assignments or gigs, but you're earning what you're worth. I know this is a hot topic because so many people ask me about this. This is where so many people struggle, but I'm going to show you how to price confidently and set rates that reflect your value. If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe. Well, yeah, you could subscribe. It's a limited podcast, but subscribe, share it with fellow writers. And if you're curious about how to take your freelance career to the next level, stay tuned because Bragworthy Bylines is coming up. We're doing the next live cohort very soon. I would love to have you in the group to really dig into this stuff and meet your personal customized writing goals. You can go to bragworthybylines.com to sign up now. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.